What up? What up? I hope my mic's working good today on my iPhone 10. But I hope you guys have been paying attention, but we have some fog. In fact, we got a lot of fog. And this is about the third night in a row here in Ohio. And there is a lot of fog. And there's a bunch of weird things going on that I've noticed about the fog. And I think other people out there are starting to notice too. Now, my whole life I've seen fog. It's normal, especially if you live in the mountains. There's always a lot of fog at night, in the mornings, on top of mountains. There's just fog everywhere, you know? And I think when especially in the mountains, the clouds kind of go up and down at different altitudes, and the clouds kind of come down in the afternoon because the light isn't shining on them. That kind of disperses them. Because I notice when light shines on things, it heats them up, and certain things, when they heat up, it generates static electricity. And if you know how a Crookes radiometer works, people think Crookes radiometer works off of heat or temperature, but I'm going to tell you the fact is they work off of static electricity. Because if you take a Crookes radiometer and you sit in a dark room and put it up next to a Tesla coil, you'll see a Crookes radiometer just spin and spin and spin. It doesn't need any heat, doesn't need any light, and it'll just sit there and spin and spin and spin. And so what happens is the static electricity, when you rub glass together and you put it up next to your hair and your hair sticks up from static electricity, and how it moves your hair and moves objects, static electricity, like when you take your clothes out of the dryer. Well, Crookes radiometer is the same way. It's the foil that sits on top of the little needle. The glass is static. It gets a static charge when it's near Tesla coil, or when the light's shining through it and it heats it up, it creates static electricity, just like your clothes in the dryer when it heats up, static electricity. And so this static electricity charges the clouds, and that causes the clouds to change altitude, to rise and fall. Everything in the world is electricity. Static electricity, mainly, and magnetic. But, the fog. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not normal. Now, I've been watching a lot of videos online of things that people's been observing. And one thing, I saw a video of a lady who had her air filters, her HVAC filters from her house, and she was shining a light on the filters, and it was making a buzzing noise, like a really powerful LED light, just like because flashlights are so powerful now with those LEDs and they're rechargeable. But it was buzzing when she put it up to her filter, and her filter was like all grayed out. It was nasty. It was filthy. But it was making a noise, like a buzzing noise, when she puts the light up to it. And the first thing that I thought is electrostatic. And electrostatic also makes sound. Tesla coils make sound. Lightning makes sound. So electrostatics and sound are like cookies and milk. So, and that's her air filter. And her air filter in the house, every time the furnace or the blower or AC kicks on, it creates a vacuum in the house. So it sucks the air from outside through your door crack and the cracks around the windows and the seals and the cracks in the attic and the vents, the vent tubes and the air and the bathroom fan that go outside. It can suck in the fog from outside and circulate it in your house. Another thing I noticed about the fog is a lot of people have been getting sick. They said people have been getting sick. They have respiratory problems, this and that. Now I'm going to tell you, since I've seen the fog, my chest has been hurting really bad, and I can't tell the difference if it's like something with my heart or my lungs, but my chest has been hurting really bad. I haven't gotten sick. I've been healthier than ever, but my chest is extremely painful, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's anxiety or drinking too much coffee or what, but I've noticed since the fog, my chest has not been doing good. Now, there are people that say, because there's all these documents about like these nano particles in the fog, these like microchips they're putting in the fog. I mean, yeah, that's possible. But based off of other observations I've known, I don't think it has nothing to do with that. I think that's just a project that they were using for who knows what. I'm going to tell you, I think it was last year. I don't remember when last year, but we had all this news about like New Jersey drones and, drones being seen everywhere and orbs and lights and this and that, everything in the sky. And there was a video of a guy who, I don't know if he worked on drones or built drones or what he did for a living, but he said there's only two reasons why you would need drones operating all the time at nighttime. And I can't remember what the first one was, but the second thing he said caught my attention. He said the drones were potentially could be used to be searching for something. He said sniffing something or searching for something. And he said radioactive. And also in that, as soon as he said radioactive, it made me think of the fog. And this all goes together with electrostatics and everything else. But yeah, the fog. Think of the fog and radiation and people's health and lungs and like I said, if you look at the map right now, like 2/3 of the United States is every night in this fog, thick fog. I've been getting warnings on my phone about the fog, like days in a row. And it's weird because it hasn't rained. The snow finally melted. It's been like in the 50s, 60s, sunny. Like, doesn't make any sense. We got this fog and yet there's no rain. I'm not in the mountains. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. My entire life, I've never seen this until recently. And it got you thinking things like natural events. Now, I saw another video where after the fog, these people's plants in their yard started turning yellow, and they looked like they were dying. And they said they only noticed this after the fog. And like the fog has this residue and this dew. It was leaving like this dirty film all over the paint of people's cars. And some of the dew had dripped onto the door of this one lady's car. And it had like stained the door panel, like ruined the color of the door panel. And I'm thinking, color, fog, I mean, all these things, health, people getting sick, all these things just really ain't adding up. And so then I went back and I looked up the fog, and you guys know there was a movie called The Fog. And I remember watching that movie a long time ago when I was young, but I've read the summary of the movie of The Fog, and it said something about a small town. There was like it was like the town's 100th anniversary. I don't know if that reminds you anything of like the 250th anniversary of USA Today. But they said the 100th anniversary, there was like this creepy fog that came into town, and it brought like these ghosts, these spirits that were like haunting the town or something, and they came from the past based off the ancestors and this and that. And I started thinking, it specifically said something about like, and I don't remember, I was too young, but it said something about like people's sin and all the things going on in the world with how people's changed, and you start to think of today, and ghosts and spirits and aliens and fog, and and they're like, oh, aliens from space. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, they could be demons for all we know. They say interdimensional. I mean, that sounds like a demon to me. That doesn't sound like space. I mean, we're living in space. This is space. There's space all here. This is space. That's like counter space. You know, they call that heaven because you can't go there in physical form. You know, you got to like get burned in a fire. You know, like when you burn fire and then the gases go up into the atmosphere. The only way to go up there is like particles and gas. You know, they say the sun's a gas, just gas burning. It's just all gas to these people. But yeah, you think aliens and interdimensional and the fog, these things coming from the fog. People said they've been seeing like these weird orbs and UFOs and stuff in the fog. And you've been seeing all these weird things in the sky. They're talking about portals opening up and CERN opening up portals. But it got me thinking back to the fog. I'm thinking, we hear the North Magnetic Pole moving, right? And when the North Magnetic Pole moves, so does everything else. The sun doesn't rise in the east and set in the west anymore. The moon doesn't rise northwest and northeast and set southwest. As the times change and the seasons change, the sun and the moon and everything, the stars, everything rises and sets at different periods of time from different directions. So if the North Magnetic Pole's moving, that means so does the direction the sun is traveling through the sky is also moving. It's no longer moving east to west anymore. Over time, I mean, it could be a short period of time, it moves north to south. And they say, oh, we'll get global warming and the polar ice caps melting and this and that. Well, we got Australia in the middle of summer snowing. And they're like, oh, climate change. Well, what if these are just like natural cycles of Earth that people has known for thousands of years, and now for some reason people are too focused on sports and games and all this stupid crap that they're not paying attention to things changing, you know, times changing. And we really don't have a good history of any of this stuff. What I'm getting at is I think this fog, the reason why all these weird things have been going on and people seeing things is the northern lights. When, like where I am, I've been seeing the northern lights, and I was told that they're northern lights. You know, you only see them in the north and they're rare, but apparently they're common. You could see them everywhere now, but yet they're called northern lights. Let's just call them beautiful lights. You know, it makes no sense. But the northern lights are caused by radiation. Cosmic rays, radiation, X-rays, whatever they want to call it. That's what they're caused by. And so you got to ask yourself, where are they coming from? They're not coming from the sun. It's the middle of the night. They're not coming from the moon. The moon's not out every night. So where are they coming from? I think they're coming from the earth. And so if we got radiation and cosmic rays and things coming from the earth, and they're creating northern lights and all these orbs and weird things in the sky, and we're hearing all these sounds and buzzing, and you hear these sounds. Like I saw videos of this farmer who was hearing like this weird gas sound, like buzzing gas sound, and so he got an excavator thing, he started digging it up, and he didn't find anything, but you can hear it. It don't sound normal. And so that gets me into electrostatic. You're not just seeing these things with cosmic rays, and, you know, radiation has an effect on people where you can also see things. Like, sorry, I just saw a flash of light, like, it looked like lightning. It's not even raining. It hasn't rained in days. Lightning in the middle of the fog. It looked like a strobe light or something. I don't know. It's starting to freak me out around here. You know, I can't even see the light at the end of the street, but yet I can see stars in the sky. This fog makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, so people are seeing all these weird things, and I'm seeing them too, guys. Like, it's not just you, I'm seeing them too. And I'm just putting pieces together here and starting to make sense now. And so, like, the people's health and all the weird things with the plants and the animals. I saw people's dogs barking and acting weird, like, just barking at the moon. You hear stories of, like, werewolves howling at the moon, you know? Like, what's that all about? Are these animals, like, they have different frequency or something of electromagnetic spectrum where they can see things we can't? Because I can tell you, I'm seeing things that we're all seeing things. They're up there. They're like, oh, they're aliens. No, they're not aliens. We don't know what they are. They say they're interdimensional. Who knows? Nobody knows. Anyone that thinks they know, they're lying. Because in the reality is, nobody knows. It's weird. It's weird what's going on. And so, where does this radiation come from? I think it's coming from the ground. This fog I know has something to do with what's been going on with the environment. You know, the northern lights, but yet I'm in the south. That doesn't make any sense. You know, seeing all the way down to Florida and Texas, northern lights, cosmic rays, the sun acting weird, all these weird things going on in the sky with the lights and the UFOs, you know, aliens, you know, it's, I don't know. I think things are changing. And I think they're changing faster than people can keep up with. They tell you it's, 2027? No, it ain't. Nobody knows when it is. October, Oct is 8. November, 9. December 10, Deca 10, January 11, February 12, March 13, April 1st. 28-day months. The moon is on a 28-day month. So that means there's no way it's 2027. I mean 2026, people. There's no way. It's not possible. The calculator, the mathematics just ain't mathing up. You know, every other society, we got 13-month calendar. And really none of it even matters anyway, because day and night, you know, is based off of the speed at which the sun and moon move. If the sun decides to change direction, it now rises in the south, because the North Magnetic Poles move 600 miles or 6,000 miles, then it really doesn't matter. The clock, throw it away. Calendar, throw it away. It's not accurate anyway. April Fools. Fools on you. We're the fools. I don't know what these flashes of light are. It's weird. Maybe it's a ambulance or something. But, yeah. What's going on? What's going on with the fog? I think there's radiation in the fog. You know, when you take that lady that had the filter, when you're shining that light up on there, it's making that buzzing noise. I think the light's so intense from the LED that's making a static, it's like statically charging your filter, you know, like your hair when you're rubbing a balloon on your head, charging, and you put it up there and you can hear the noises of it. The static, the electrostatic noises. And I think it's from radiation. And where's that radiation coming? The ground. It's coming from the ground. Why? Because that's where the sounds are coming from. And the lights. There's been lights coming from the ground too. Orbs. People have been seeing these orbs. People have seen helicopters chasing these orbs, everything. And you talk about, oh, CERN, open up a portal. I mean, nobody knows. Maybe this is normal. Maybe they're preparing us for something. Maybe they know that times are changing. Maybe they know the sun is changing intensity, changing direction. And you could say, oh, they're doing this, pointing fingers at everyone. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. Maybe there are forces at play that are much bigger than us. Maybe they talk about cosmic battles and things. Maybe there are things going on that we are not supposed to be part of. We're not supposed to be aware of. It's just supposed to happen. And unfortunately, we're just in the middle of it. And so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the fog. I'm going on about 20 minutes now. Those are some things I noticed. I try to think if I forgot anything to talk about. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'll try to make another video if there's anything I could think that I missed that I wanted to talk about or cover. But yeah, those drones, they're looking for radiation from where? Probably the Earth, the ground, you know? Another thing to think is, you know, the cicadas come out of the ground, like, what is it, every 7 years, every 14 years? What if there's something that just naturally, I'm not saying they're cicadas or lizard people, but what if there is something that comes out of the ground every 200 years, every 80 years, every 1,000 years? What if there is something that comes out of the ground that we aren't aware of, that just it's normal? It comes out, does its harvest, does its thing, goes away, and we don't hear about it for another 1,000 years when we rebuild 1,000 years later. What if we triggered something? What if we triggered a beacon? You know, you got like the Omega particle and the Borg off of Star Trek, Unimatrix 001. What if this intelligence that we created, this AI, this intelligence that we made, whether it was gifted to us or we made it or not, what if it triggered a distress call? What if this AI that we made is communicating with something much older than it? I mean, it has access to our radios, our communication systems, our internet. What if it's sent a signal out there using our SETI dish or our Voyager spacecraft or whatever, who knows what? What if it got a message out there to something that's much older than it, that's been around much longer, and it's not organic? What if it's like a AI, some robotic machine that just comes out of the ground every 1,000 years for a harvest? To do what? I don't know. Builds these pyramid things and leaves all these weird artifacts and structures around the world, and they're like, we built that. No, we don't know who built that. Nobody built it. A 3D printer probably printed it. An AI probably made it. To think that we're the first people in the world that went from flint and steel and muskets to iPhone 10s in 100 years, 150 years is just crazy. Can you imagine 1,000 years? In 1,000 years, we got Borg nanites or whatever, things that you can't even comprehend. We got aircraft that could travel 10 times the speed of sound. Can you even imagine another 100 years from now? 50 years from now? Just 20 years from now? They call it the singularity. Maybe something's coming. Maybe it's here. I know you guys feel it. I feel it too. Who knows? We're just gonna wait and find out, I guess. But the clock's ticking. Things are changing. Some of us are paying attention. Some of us are preoccupied with staring at the wall watching paint dry or whatever. Who knows? But I think I rambled on too long. Hopefully this fog goes away because I'm sick of it. And hopefully my chest feels a little better because I don't know what it is. I mean, could radiation cause genetic mutations in coming out of the ground in fog, like a volcano or maybe an earthquake or something happened that triggered something? Something coming out of the ground. I don't know what. Is it coming from the sun? Is it cosmic rays from the sun? Is the Earth's magnetic field just gone and the cosmic rays are just blasting us from the sun, making all these lights and orbs and things in the sky, opening portals? I don't know. Could be the sun. Ra. I don't know. Nobody knows. But I don't like it. Hopefully things get better and things change. But yeah. I've been rambling on long enough. I hope you guys doing all right and have a good night. Bye. Adios.